Good afternoon to our honored guests and our party members.
Guys, can we have silence, please? We're about to start.
Good afternoon to our party members, honored guests who have all turned up to witness this press conference this afternoon, and also good afternoon to the ladies and gentlemen of the press. The purpose of this press conference today is to state our party's position on the just concluded presidential elections and also to state the way forward for our party. Thank you very much. I'll now turn it over to Honorable Sallah. Oh, I'm sorry. Before we get started, I would like to call the Imam to please step forward and give us a prayer. Please, the Muslim prayer. Thank you very much.
أعوذ بالله من الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
And we'll now like to call on Bishop to give us the Christian prayer.
Thank you. Thou great Jehovah God, the creator of all humankind throughout the whole universe, you create each and every human person in your image and in your likeness. And you have planted each and every human person in different nations. We thank you for this nation, the Gambia, and we thank you for all whom we have planted in this land, the Gambia. We thank you for your hand over this nation. You have been guiding us, directing us, protecting us, and defending us from all ills and harms. And so, Lord, we continue to thank you for your goodness over this land called the Gambia. Father, we continue to bring before you this press conference of Pdois this afternoon hour after the conclusion of the presidential election which took place on the 4th of December 2021. We called upon you to allow us to go through a peaceful election. And we want to say you have granted us a peaceful process from registration to campaigning and to the voting sessions as well. And so, Lord, we continue to entrust this nation into your hands. We pray, Lord, that you will guide us, you will direct us, you will protect us, you will defend us, and you will grant us the cause how we should put our hands together so that we will develop this nation for the betterment of all who live in this land. We thank you for all the presidential candidates. Today we are here with the presidential candidate for Pdois, Honorable Abubakar Halifa Sallah, and his party supporters. We lift all of them unto you this day. And we say, Lord, strengthen their hearts. Grant them the solace they need at this moment in time. And also grant them the vision to see the way forward. So that, Lord, by your goodness, by your mercy, and by your grace, you will grant them that which will empower them to contribute meaningfully to the development of this land. And so we commit this press conference unto you. We commit all the journalists unto you. And we say, let them be fair and truthful in whatever message they send out to the population and to the whole world at large, so that Gambia will remain one. Gambia will remain peaceful. Gambia will remain a nation of love and of understanding for one another. And so we say, let your peace continue to reign in the hearts of everybody, so that there will be no violence in this land, but there will be peace, love, and understanding, and dialogue, so that we will be able to understand each other. This we ask through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you very much, Pastor. Okay, I would like to introduce the people at the table. Our coalition, this is Dr. Baibiram Jan, our coalition partner. Oh. Okay, so I would like to go ahead now and introduce the people seated at the table. To my right is Dr. Baibiram Jan of APP, who is a coalition partner. And we have the Honorable Halifa Sallah, our party leader, Secretary General, and was our presidential candidate. We have the Honorable C.D. Ajata, the chairman of Pdois. And to the far right, we have Dr. Mamadi Kuran of Youth for Change, who is also our coalition partner. Want me to introduce people? Okay. Now I will go ahead and turn the mic over to Honorable Sallah so that we can proceed with the All right. I had asked about introducing the people in the back. Well, I'll introduce them. To my right here is Mr. Faisuso, who is the chair of the EU branch of Pdois. And we have the Honorable Usman Silla, National Assembly member for Banjul North and one of our executives. And then to the far right there, we have Ms. Jaha Dukure. I will now turn over the mic to my name is Jabu Jo, and I am the chair of the DOI US branch. And now, I think we can proceed with this press conference after all my faux pas.
Gentlemen and women of the media, the COSO, partners who had been overseers of the electoral process, our partners who joined us to form a formidable coalition for system change, everybody here present. We started a journey dictated by our Constitution. It states very clearly the authority to govern this country must be derived from the people of the country and must be exercised to promote their general welfare. If elections were a football match, then there would be winners and losers. But election is not a football match. It is the sovereign authority of the people to entrust their power and authority to any of us. And that authority should be utilized to promote the liberty and prosperity of our people. What we are here to do today is to examine the process and indicate how we see it and how we conceive the verdict. Section 26 of the Constitution is clear that every citizen of the Gambia of full age and capacity shall have the right, without unreasonable restrictions, to take part in the conduct of public affairs directly or through freely chosen representatives to vote and stand for elections, at genuine periodic elections for public office, which elections shall be universal and equal suffrage and be held by secret ballot. We participated in the 2021 presidential elections based on the mandate of the Constitution. The IEC has finally declared the results. According to the IEC, Adam Barrow has 457,519 votes. ANM Usainu Dabo, 238,253 votes. Esambay Fall, 17,206 votes. Abdullah Ibrahim Jammeh, 8,252 votes. Mama Kande, 105,902 votes. Halifa Babukar Sallah, 32,435 votes. According to them, having received 457,519 votes in the election, he, the IEC chairman, declared Adam Barrow duly elected to serve as President of the Republic of the Gambia. According to Section 49 of our Constitution, it is clearly stipulated, and we wish to share with you as our members and the community at large. It states when we are dissatisfied, it states that any registered political party which has participated in the presidential elections for an independent candidate who has participated in such an election may apply to the Supreme Court to determine the validity of the election of the president by filing a petition within 10 days of the declaration of the result of the election. I wish to note that we have consulted our polling agents, and we do not have any substantial evidence that we can present before the Supreme Court to challenge the validity of the presidential election. So in that regard, as a coalition, we really cannot say in any way that within 10 days we are going to present anything before the Supreme Court to challenge the validity of the elections. And this is how matters stand as far as Pdois and its coalition stands. During the voting process, journalists did cover my last message. One of them even mentioned that I cried. And the person does not understand what human sentiments are all about. Crying is emotional breakdown. What you saw there was passion, not sentiments that require anybody to have doubt of what we stand for. We never believe that we have to essentially win an election. That is your duty as a people, to determine who should govern you. And none of us should wish that we must win an election. The passion that was seen, and it's a caution that I must give, is that on the 2nd of December 2016, we laid our lives for the Gambian people to be free to be able to take charge of their destiny. We struggle for you to take back your country and take back your power, take back your voice. And I was cautioning you that 2021 was your opportunity. That was the last hurdle for you to move from poverty to prosperity, injustice to justice, ignorance to enlightenment. That if you make the mistake of not taking back your country and your power and entrust it in an informed way, that just as Africa went through the coup d'etat era of mercenaries entering the African continent, overthrowing governments, being paid by Africans who were willing to sell their birthright to those who were only interested in money. They sold their diamonds, they sold their gold, they sold all the resources of Africa, and that's why poverty is still entrenched. I was cautioning you that democracy could only thrive under the sovereignty of a people who are dignified and who will not allow themselves to be induced or intimidated by anybody on the face of the earth. But if we surrender our democracy to copper coin, to dollars, ultimately there are people in the world, billionaires, who are willing to take oceans, minerals, everything that a country has by financing elections and winning elections, not for the people, but for them. That was the caution as I exit the scene. So today, you have decided. Now you must live with your decision. We have a nation to build and a destiny to claim. Each of us must sit down and ask ourselves the question, who is the loser? Who is the winner? There are no losers. There are no winners. There is a task to be performed, a challenge to be addressed, the challenge of nation building. 72% of our population are young people searching for a destiny in their homeland, a place, a country that they can claim to be their home, a country that should guarantee them education, guarantee them skills, guarantee them jobs, guarantee them family life, housing, so that they can marry, raise their children, and prepare a new generation to bequeath the Gambia to. This is not a moment of jubilation. It's a moment for each of us to be tranquil and prepare for a new day. What it will bring, all of us will see. It is there. The future will tell. But we who are seated here went around the country and told the people that we have an ocean, we have minerals, we have a country, we have horticultural gardens. And for us, we can ensure that we can eradicate poverty by transforming the 23 billion that we are going to entrust to President Adama Barrow when he assumes office in 2022 to start to build the country. We said that at the level of the central bank, we'll create a sovereign wealth investment fund where that money will now be utilized to buy fishing vessels, to send them to our waters, to fish in our waters, bring the fish down for us to process, and for us to feed our population and sell it abroad so that ultimately we'll be able to gain more foreign exchange to put in that sovereign wealth fund to invest in transforming our tomatoes into tomato paste, our groundnuts into oil, our milk into cheese, yogurt, and all that is necessary, that we can continue to build industries that will generate employment for our young people. That's what we told the people as the system changed. If a new government is interested in transforming the program into policies, into programs, into projects, well, it should be able to do so. Opposition is an alternative government by giving an alternative programmatic policy document that it intends to utilize to build a country. So if others are given the chance, well, they have an opportunity to see what they can utilize to bring about development. That is the interaction in a real democracy between the opposition and the government. Because a country is developed through the collective intelligence of its citizenry. There is no diversity there. It is building up that cooperative spirit to be together. So we have said very clearly that prior to doing that, if we were to take over, immediately we will start the registration of all those young people who are sitting down. Find out their skill levels and their knowledge base, and then give them 1 year national service to give them skill and knowledge. And thereafter, we would have built a cooperative bank where they can go and receive interest-free loans to start building up and taking part in the productive base of the economy and live contributive and productive life. That's what we said. If the current government is interested in eradicating the poverty of these young people and create a situation where they will have hope, well, the ideas are there for it to take and implement if it sincerely wants to address the problems of this land. We have said that we don't have to wait for the industries to be built. We can transform the cooperative bank and the central bank to be able to give loans, interest-free loans, to anybody who wants to be productive. Farmers to have fertilizer seed farming implements. Horticultural gardeners the same. Any welder, anybody who wants to take a milling machine to transform our coos into flour. We've said this. Anybody who wants to be productive will be able to get this interest-free loan, and we will have a nation that is working. Not a nation where anybody is sitting down and be accused of not wanting to work. This is what we offered the people throughout the country. Not only that, we told them that your communities are poor because of a local government structure which is archaic, where all your rates, all your licenses, all your duties are paid to a central organ, and you will never see it again. No roads, no lights, nothing whatsoever that you will call civilization. They are still living in huts, with some using donkey carts to draw water from wells. That's the reality in the countryside. We told them that we can change this by ensuring that every butut that comes from your villages will stay in your village treasuries. Every butut that comes from the wards will stay in the ward treasuries. And annually, the Village Development Committee, World Development Committee will meet with the people, and they will discuss what form of development should take place. And the 23 billion that belong to all of us, annually, it will be shared, a part of it will be shared among all the regions and the councils, so that they will serve as equalization grants for any development project a village has, a ward has, that it is unable to shoulder. Colleagues, I think this is what we told the Gambian people. And from Carton to Quena, they listened, they accepted the mandate that we gave them, that these are solutions. So the seed of system change has been implanted. Why they voted the way they voted is not my prerogative to inquire into. They have voted. It's their voice. They've made their voices heard. It is for us to accept their decision. But we are convinced that the message delivered to them was accepted as solutions to their problems. So, as we conclude, I must say, colleagues, that you are victors, not losers. You've sacrificed your wealth, your time, your energy, a doctor of medicine. If it is just money, he'll be there, you go home and cough, and he takes 1,000 from you. He does not have to participate in politics in terms of representation. And when they started, Dr. Gay, we had doctors ready to participate to change this country. He stood in Banjul North, and you could see the votes. And most of our intellectuals who started with us started to have skepticism. What type of people are the Gambian people? That's your problem. There are people ready to sacrifice to change the destiny of this land. But when they come out, they do not see the acceptance and reception by the people who are suffering. They fan back. So don't blame the people who are intellectual. They are genuine intellectuals, ready to sacrifice to change the destiny of this land. They are here, they were here yesterday. They are here today. They'll be here tomorrow. You are the ones, you the people of the Gambia, who must search for them. When they take their stand, support them, so they do not fan back. Your suffering is your own making after 2016. Before we could understand, ignorance. But after 2016, the ignorance is no longer there. You are free. You own yourself. You can say everything you want. You can do everything you want. You are free. Your destiny is in your hands. If you are poor and nothing is being done about it, it is you who made the decision that had been made. So the way forward, colleagues, you, an independent presidential aspirant, join the struggle to support Pdois because of the program. We appreciate that. And we'll accompany you. Whether you're going to form a new party or go and work for change, well, whatever you do, know that we are with you. We've heard you. You know that you are a young person determined to serve your country, to give your mind, energy, and heart to your country because you love your country and your people. And I've heard you condemn ethno-linguistic divide to show that the Gambian people are sovereign. The citizens of the Gambia are the majority. Anybody else falls within the minority. And it is those citizens who own the Gambia. And there is no minority in terms of religion, minority in terms of ethno-linguistic group, no minority in terms of gender. We have Gambian citizens equal in sovereignty, each one vote. And all religions, whoever believes in a religion must be an ambassador of that religion. Ethno-linguistic group, ambassador of that ethno-linguistic group to the nation, so that we build a nation that we all can claim to be our own, where any citizen can actually occupy any position, doctor, nurse, minister, any position, as long as you are ready to use your energy for the development of our country, as long as you love your people, as long as you love your country. That is the contract. The contract is to love your people, is to love your country, be ready to serve your country for our collective development. My conclusion, therefore, Dr. Jan, APP, you came to join us. We are ready to support you in anything so that collectively we continue to work to effect system change. We see this relationship we have forged as a treasure. For me, that is the end in terms of representation. But that's not the end in terms of love of my country and people. You will hear my voice is louder firmer, and more determined to ensure that the forces of ignorance are defeated and nobody will be able to go to sleep again in the Gambia. Even if you want to, you will not sleep again. And don't think in any way that I am in any way emotionally broken. In fact, I'll be a calmer Halifa Sallah after this. The fire that was burning in me will quench today. I thought that I could inspire you to refuse to take that rope of slavery and put it back around your neck. But since you have done that, the tears have dried in my ears, in my eyes. Now I'll be calmer to see how I can talk to you to love yourself. We need to teach the people to have self-esteem, to love themselves. We have the people who need to be supported to love themselves. If we don't do that, we are doomed. The people I see now, they need calmer voices, people situated in them, close to them, to help them to love themselves. Otherwise, we don't have a nation. And we cannot afford, with all our knowledge, not to have a nation. It will be a disgrace for us. We have the opportunity, those of us who galvanize together. After this, let's sit down and see the way forward for our country. There's a way forward. We must search for it. We'll discover it. And we will ensure that we take back our country and take back our power and entrust it whenever it is necessary to people who will be able to address our needs and aspirations. Now that it is entrusted to President Adam Barrow, we would say that we are here anytime to give any advice that will facilitate the development of this nation when consulted. This is our mandate. We are here for the nation, but we can never be absorbed by anyone. We don't want to be used by NPP to go against UDP. You, the supporters of Pdois, don't allow yourself to be absorbed by anybody's agenda. Follow the Pdois agenda. Here and there, they will say, Halifa Sallah is this, he's the good guy, he's this. All this is window dressing. I don't want such praises that pit me against other people. What I want is to be seen for what I stand for and who I am. And you, the Pdois people, you must develop the maturity to be unifiers of the nation and not dividers of the nation. Allow those with populist agenda to continue with their populist agenda and their fight. We have only one fight. Fight against poverty. Fight against injustice. Fight against ignorance. Thank you very much. I'm willing to go for a conference koten soto me ya lonko bediamo kela na kangolto mbawo mo jamale be jang me ya lonko nata dorom pour que kumo moy ntol bon antel te woku kela pour que sindi jang so woto mo me ya lonko e bota radio to wala television to me ya lonko e nata jang pour que na kangol moy maybe ñing kola nsi nga continue kacha yo continue bari nsi conference do kilime ya lonko fengte diamola je men man kala kawul do inshallah mu ngi melni waxon nañ ne ñu laal ci walu suñu làkk yi wala suñu ko bëggoon a def ay kilifa fi nekk yoo xam ne lii moo leen isi bëgg nañ ñu bàyyi leen ñu dem su fekkee ne am nga yeneen laajte yoo leen laajte ci suñu làkk yi dinañ ko mën a def waaye nag dinañ jëlaat yeneen jotaay toog ak yéen et ñu mun a waxtaan li ñu wax ni yëpp ci anglais ñu mun ko waxtaan ci suñu làkk yi waaw mu mel ni let me hand over to you for any any questions, quick questions that they may have.
All right, we will now open the floor to the press to ask any questions that you may have.
Relating to the election.
Huh?
That's it, relating to
Yeah.
the election results. Election results. Specifically.
You can introduce yourself. And,
Yes. Good afternoon. Honorable Halifa Sallah. Good afternoon, Chairperson. Honorable Sidia Jata. Dr. Kurang and Dr. Chang. Honorable Usman and the rest of the members of the executive. Probably you've never seen us here among the Pdois gathering. But today I am here with two eminent persons in the presence of Bishop Diko and Imam Esa Labo. We are expecting Honorable Mrs. Rena, who is also part of us. We have been working with Honorable Sallah and some of his people for 2-3 months now on what we call code of conduct. Code of conduct. Our role is and will continue to be to ensure that peace, justice, fair play prevail during the elections, before, during elections, and after elections. And for that reason, we have asked, or we have developed a code of conduct, which Honorable Sallah and the other 6 parties signed, so that they would look at those outlined in the code of conduct document and to be followed during their campaign, during voting, and after elections. And we are pleased to report that Pdois, in particular Halifa and his executive, are one of those people who have highly recommended and highly followed the commitment they have for us. And that is why we have been asked to come here. We spoke to him on the phone before coming here. And that is why we are asked to come here to extend our pleasure, to tell you that we are really impressed with the manner and the way you conducted your campaign during election and after the results are announced. And your announcement of endorsing what has come is not a surprise to us. On that note, on behalf of Bishop, Imam, Honorable Rena, we want to thank the executive of Pdois, and we hope Pdois would continue. Your agenda is important. Changing the life of people, making sure that they are out of poverty is the issue in this country. I thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, we will now open the floor for questions from the ladies and gentlemen of the press. You may proceed. Okay.
Jërëjëf Mr. Sarr gàcce ngalaama bokkoon nga ci ñi doon firndeel démocratie Gambia mooy bokk ci li nga xam ne mooy joŋante xëccoo njiitu réew yi doon am muy ci gaaw bi ñu weesu Halifa Ababacar Sallah doonoon nga koo xam ne am na ay kàddu yoo waxoon waaye it waxaat nga ko ci sa biir wax mooy dëggal nga ni fii la ca bokk ci li nga xam ne mooy jëmante yi xëccoo njiitu réew ak bu mu mënta doon ci loo xam ne pal moo koy joxe waaye dina wéy di liggéeyal sa réew ma amoon ab laaj boo xam ne bëgg naa la ko laaj ndaxte ñun ci ñu biir ba nga waxee loolu bokk naa ci ñu doon def ay gëstu di laaj ay ndaw réew mi ñu bari ñu ngi naan ñu ngi waajal ci gox bu ne ci Gambie daañu dajale ay nit ay ndaw yu takku ngir ñaan la nga wëy di leen gunge ci li nga xam ne mooy ci politique bi ndax bu ñooñu ñëwee dina tax ndaw ñooñu li ñuy waaj bu ñu ñëwee ndax dina tax Halifa Ababacar Sallah daal di dellu ginnaaw ci kàddu yi nga xam ne fa la dëgg jërëjëf Mouhamed Mbaye Garmi Gambian Talents TV.
xam nga Gambia dafa am jaar-jaar yi ñaari fan ci décembre dafa nekk jaar-jaar bu am solo ndax ki ëppoon doole ñëpp ëpp alal ñëpp ëpp baat ñëpp su jëlee téléphone koo xam ne kenn mësu koo xam ci wàllu politique boobu ne ko jébbal naa la nguur gi doomi Gambie dafa am lu rëy lu ñu waroon a jàngee ci loolu mu mel ni bon ñun li ñu dese mooy tabax Gambie woon yoon wi nga xam ne ku ñëwati rek daf koo yokk wala du am lu ñu ci waay soo gisee man ma ne su ma taxawaay ci presidential election bi dinaa toog juróomi at rek du passé foofu mooy ni dañ yàgg di am nguur yuy xababa benn nguur ñett fukki at beneen nguur ñaar fukki at ak ñaar mu mel ni soxla nga lu jàngal nit ñi ne am na lu wuute ak loolu bon su nit ñëwee toog juróomi at rek tabax réew mi ci anam boo xam ne ñëpp dinañ ci kontaan xam nga loolu dafa nekk doorin bu bees ba kenn du ñëwati di xababal ci nguur looloo tax man ma wax loolu mu mel ni nekk su fekkee ne itam dénkuñ ma réew mi mu ngi mel ni ba tey itam rek loolu dafa nekk exemple ci réew mi ni nit mun naa dem ba liggéeyam jeex mu dal di ne fi mu nekk nii xaaral ma jébbale parti bi xaaral ma jébbale li nga xam ne taxaw élection la wante loolu terewul ne bugg bi ma bugg suma réew bugg bi mu nga xam ne moom laa bugg sumay niti réew kooku moom mu ngi ci suma xol ba pare du ma toog di seetaan suma réew seetaan suma niti réew ñuy gën a nekk ci toroxtaange bu dul jeex doxaay mu mel ni ba tey suma xalaat suma man lu ma mun a def pour xamle kooku dafa continuer mu mel ni parti bi dafa am nu ma war a tabaxee ci boppam dégg nga ma wax ko ne nit yi Gambie fi mu nekk nii dafa am leneen lu ñu soxla foog ñu dimbali nit ñi ñu bugg seen bopp dafa mel ni am na lu ñu manqué le ci loolu ndax soo demee ba am doole boo xam ne bi mun nga koo dénkaane nga jël buumu njaam laxasaat ci sa baat kooku mu ngi mel ni am na lu des moo tax ñuy wax ne foog ñu toggaat yu waxtaanaat seetaat lan lañ war a dugalaat ci doomi Gambie ndax ñu mun a xamaat ki ñu doon xam li ñu moom xam ni ñu koo dénkaane pour mu jëriñ leen dafa mel ni liggéey boobu moo des te moom lañ wax ne ndaw yi suñ ko paree sëmb ñu ànd ceeg ñoom ndax liggéey boobu foog ñu def ko rek pour suñ réew doon réew mi nga xam ne dinañ ko sopp dinañ bugg itam ñëpp xam ne ci réew moomu lañ jógee ndax nit foog muy naboore yow kenn buggul nekk ci réew moo xam ne suñu ko gisee xeef la ku nekk bugg naa naboore yow bon nag loolu mooy suma tontu.
This was going to be my question, so since you said it in Wolof, can you do it in English, please?
Can you ask your question in English then?
Yeah, this is the same question.
Respond
I just want it in English version.
Yes, it's my duty to serve my country in any capacity at any time. I have done so based on the demands of times and circumstances. I've emphasized that 2016 was a turning point. For me, That was the opportunity we had to put an end to self-perpetuating rule and build the architecture of a state where all of us will be proud to be called our homeland. So to me, we have not achieved that. That's why the 2021 elections became an instrument for me to demonstrate precisely what we wanted to demonstrate in 2016. That is, a government that will not go beyond 5 years, whose fundamental objective would be to build the type of state that all of us will be proud to call our homeland. I said that for me, even if I don't win an election, I must still give that example that, well, we must call it a day in terms of representation. But that does not mean that I will hate my country and people. It means the continuity of that love of country and people will compel me to work with anybody to continue the agenda of ensuring that the people take charge of their destiny and take ownership of their homeland and take ownership of their power to ensure that they entrust it so as to ensure their liberty, dignity, and prosperity. That's what I'm emphasizing, that I will work with anybody, because one thing that is very clear is that something is missing in the Gambian people, and that is real love of self. That self-esteem is still missing. So it's our duty to work day and night to inject that in them. Because the example is very clear. 1987, when we started with very educated people ready to sacrifice. I just give an example of Dr. Gay, who was a very dedicated medical practitioner, accepted to stand for election and was rejected. And we had Dr. Mane and all these people. We had series of intellectuals ready to participate. But once that became the experience, they fan back. So there are many people ready to sacrifice, but the people's response forced them to fan back. That's somehow something is wrong. And therefore, we must work to address that. And that's what we are saying. We must work to build that self-esteem in the Gambian people, and I'm ready to work with anybody, any young person, anybody, so that we can ensure that that happens. But in terms of representation, there's no need for me to continue. It is important for that to be an example that at a given stage, times and circumstances will dictate that you move from the area of representation and continue to serve your country in other ways. Thank you.
Just a follow-up to that, you talked about your continuous support if it's needed, particularly the young people. I would ask if the current government that is declared approaches you or your city share ideas with you come to confident, hence now you want to be in the forefront, pushing it for these.
I believe we have always said that anybody who wishes to get our advice will always get that advice. Welcome. One thing that I hear people saying is, if the government offers me this and that, whether I will go and be part of it. I think people should abandon that type of notion to see that we are talking about system change. That is precisely the reason why I did not accept a ministerial post in 2016, because a coalition has many programmatic policy documents working together, and which one are you going to put into operation? That is the question. So therefore, if you work under that umbrella, you'll achieve nothing and receive all the blame. I do not want to be part of such a destiny. I want to be a part of a destiny that is very clear and clear. That this is what I stood for, this is what I worked for, and if I fail, that is why I fail. People can judge me for that. But nobody will judge me for somebody else's failure. That will never be my destiny. And what am I searching for now? For position? For money? What am I searching for? So I've lived all my life of service with my colleagues, and that service will continue. If the government needs any advice, and it could have been any government of the Gambia, will render our advice. There is no doubt about that. But nobody should talk about joining a government or working with a government of that nature. That is out of the question.
Honorable Sallah, I would like to ask you in Mandinka language, if you don't mind.
Well, we have already said that we are going.
Okay, I am sorry. Kuwol be dunde mol bul ñew kono min kete ñin socialism ti ya senel de men be tot nan be jayi lala adum fanan nga moy ko ibe fonyola ni man gagné be fonyola politiko la so lafte ñini kala fe be fonyola president ya ñino laban wolle be fonyola politiko fongol laban andum fanan ni e fonyo fe sa keno president la advice ati laban tabarakallah.
Akuma ya kala mutoko ntol fe musol ka teko ke nyame woye ko be koyndi ko ni teko keta kilin ka tale pour mun kamma ka dundi kuto pour asala nafulo lafa fo wonti ko banko fanan la ran keso 23 billion dollars mu teko let bari mol ka teko ke bari kodobu ka muru ikam wole mu kolya bundat ntol ko ni teko keta isito bondino ya cooperative bank lo ni wo keta ni mo be je men ya lonko asina fulo sotono je ka dokundi ka murundi keso kono interest la kan asitano je woyeke wole mun na tamandir nyaat malo fe ko mo understand ba so woto wole mu socialism wole mu tamandir nyaat fulan jango banko la aran keso isi do bondi je ya ke sovereign wealth investment fund na keta sovereign wealth investment fund nsi kodo bondi je nganye muto kulugol sa ngadundi na bakol ay ke banko la nafulote ni ya nati ya topoto banko molbe domoro sotala bawo nyelbe se ala banko kan bar isa wafino banta asi bantaran ko kodo sabu banko ma ya dundi aran kesoto ya bondi kotege ka factory lo men ya lon ko asina tomato ta ka ke tomato potati asina tiota ka ke diwlinoti at nim be mu kulete men ya lon ko nga explain campagne ko nga mere ya moyle so woto aman jar pour que muru akan bawo nga men fo campagne ko do ñin diwlino men ka sino nga men bondi banta ka nati ñim banko kan 1.2 billion ak ayewol ñinen ka banko bu 2020 wosi dokuno ñim banko kan diwlino si dokuno so ni nga doko wobe do mala jang wo dale se million wuli killing kema fula isi wo tuje woye tuñi banko ka banko la fanko la bunda jidinda wala mu socialism so ya men ni ka wala mu ntefe nko pour que lo president yala ka lo député yala ka lo council yala wo mu ko mo kulati sani wo bantale ntefe bari pour kana banko kan kira banko dingol kan yalo wo buka faale wo ka tentende woto ko men yalon ko ayen nyin ka pour nga wo yitendi kala mutorola karandirola ko men yalon ko en si wo yitendi pour dole continuer ka do ko ke ambe wole kala ye advice ko fo wal advice ko nga mem bambandi wole mu ñing membe mararola pour nga dung ala marro kono yalo wo mu koma talati bawo tolla système mo système change lati woto woni ala tamande nyama kalen tamande nyama même manki clienti ni la fita dundele goto amun to ko wettulo kom so what wala ken ko na keta ya maroti me ya lonko banko be la nafamu wo kay mo membe president yala na ya nyin kambulu me na ya marodi bari nakata doy la government amuntu ko ntol bebe taralaje ka mako rodi pour ka samba anyanta samba la nyaan malo fo jabiro kida al sa kal muto molbe siring hanika bi alla nyinin karo nyanta tilinna press conference men keda.
All right, and I just like to remind everyone who's asking questions if you would identify the media house that you represent. Thank you. Are there any more questions?
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Well, we thank you for coming, and there will be more press conferences like this by the party, because this is the interactive period between the party and the population. And those of you who would wish to engage should get closer so that your names will be taken, and then we will see how to build study cells so that we can look at the whole Gambian economy, all aspects of Gambian society. And as young people, you begin the process of getting true understanding of how to run your country, because there has been so much distortion. In fact, I was talking to an intellectual one time in a debate. He talked about, well, centralized government, that what you people are talking about, centralized government. And this person is teaching in a university. And you have central government. All government are centralized in the world. You have centralized government and you have regional government. So there is no government on earth which is not centralized. There is no budget which is not centralized. But somehow they use this terminology, put it in their heads, and they use it willy-nilly and then confuse our whole young people. So we are going to be very aggressive in terms of knowledge building. So all of you who are interested in knowledge will be able to open up that chapter so that you start to truly understand your country and understand ideas. As we have said, know yourself, know your country, know the world, then you'll be the architect of your own destiny, and you will not be anybody's fool on the face of the earth. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much.
So if you can allow our guests to leave, just provide space for them so that we will not keep them here too long. Pastor.
Doctor.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
Thank you
sir.
so much. Thank you.
Those who have questions in English and Wolof can stay.
Okay. Yeah, bro.
Mune gorob la ya.
Thank you very much.
Okay.